Yeah, like I was saying, the Russian players play these games more, so they get listened to more, even though their opinions are not any more valid than ours. And unfortunately, they seem to listen to the stupid people most of the time when you're dealing with the Russians. Because if they didn't, World of Tanks would be better, and War Thunder would be better. But, oh fucking well. This is why I liked Obsidian making this kind of game, because we had a developer that we knew that was sort of like, they weren't going to be biased against the Russians, not necessarily, but they weren't going to be biased against us. We had a developer in our corner to say, okay, you're trying to make this work outside of, you know, the places where, you know, it's not exactly, you know, the places where it's completely optimal. You're trying to get the Americans to go play these types of games. And so you're going to be talking with us. You're going to be, you know, negotiating with us as players, asking us what we want. And so that was nice to have. But it's gone now. Because, again, the Russians ruined everything. But to be honest, you know, I hope Obsidian actually goes off and tries to make their own game with the knowledge that they have assembled with Armored Warfare. I'd play it. I'd get behind that shit in a second, honestly. I mean, it would be somewhat irresponsible because, you know, we wouldn't have assurance because Armored Warfare had a lot of failings in itself, but at least Obsidian was trying to improve. And we actually knew, we had actual continuous updates that they were improving. And then they were actually improving a lot. And honestly, looking at Balance 2.0, it's very clearly obvious that they got shit-canned halfway through doing that. It was hilariously incomplete, and they just kind of shoved it out afterwards as the skeleton crew came in. So, honestly, if Obsidian made a vehicular combat game, World War II, Modern Era, whatever the fuck, if they made a game like that for themselves, and were saying, we're gonna continue where we left off with Armored Warfare, I would go off right that fucking instant and buy the most expensive fucking Founders package I could get my hands on. Because you know what? They deserve it. And I want to show them, in that regard, that, yeah, you guys doing this, even though it didn't really work the fuck out, is still something I value as a person who plays video games, and I want to see you guys succeed. That's why I do that. However, unfortunately, Obsidian's not exactly able to operate on their own, so it's very unlikely unless, like, a Western publisher like EA or someone gets into this fucking, this type of game, we're probably not gonna see it, because they probably can't make it on their own. I'd fund a Kickstarter, though. I would. Because honestly, Armored Warfare's PvE was actually very, very fun. It was actually relaxing, even though it was incredibly basic. It had a lot of room to improve, or a lot of room to grow as they started to scale up the mechanics and whatnot, make more and more detailed missions, hiring out the problems with the gameplay, which they were doing. They did improve, not a whole lot, but they did improve, and they did show initiative that they were trying to fix issues. But again, we don't necessarily actually know how much they were limited by the publisher in a lot of cases, because it seemed like if Mail.ru threw them off the boat, it seems like, to be honest, this must have been a long-running thing. Obsidian must have had to fight for things in order to get these new things into this game, whereas Mail.ru just wanted them to copy World of Tanks and that's it. So there must have been something going on, and maybe, this is me going out on a limb with hope, but maybe if Obsidian wasn't hemmed down by that, maybe they might actually be able to make more progress faster. But again, this is the ideal situation. Hello, guys. Sorry, Kriegsmarine, I gotta go. See you later. Bye. But like I was saying, if, you know, it's the most perfect situation that we don't really necessarily get anymore, because honestly, not everyone, you can't really make a Tim Schafer anymore, because there is not that much money being thrown into the gaming industry without people really paying attention. That's how those early games were kind of successful. You can't make Grim Fandango right now. You can't do it. You could try to do it, but you have to do it on an indie budget. You can't get AAA funding for a Grim Fandango today. It won't happen. The reason why most of those games were successful is because that most of the time the people throwing money into this system didn't really understand or know how to control it. It was just sort of making money. So that they were more open to, they weren't throwing their money away, you know, completely without care, although sometimes they did. But in a lot of cases, they were a little bit more accepting of developers just kind of doing their own thing, because we didn't have, like, marketing departments telling them exactly what sold all day long, every day, and what, you know, gamer trends were, and what everyone was playing. So obviously we should try and always conform to these trends to make a successful game, because this is what happened. This is what all corporations, this is the only way they think. They don't play, the people running these places don't play video games. They don't understand what makes a good game. So right now, what they have to do is they're leaning on their control, their insight, though I use massive hyphens, or massive quotations rather, their insight to tell people how to make video games, when honestly in a lot of cases they're not right.
I agree.
They're just sort of like taking ideas that are already successful and just saying like, oh well, maybe if we, you know, meld these ideas into there, maybe the game will be more successful, without actually realizing that if it's good or not for the game as an individual. So, corporate meddling in a nutshell. Ground targets, yay! But in the early days, you didn't have that. There was not a lot of corporate meddling, and honestly, in a lot of cases, it's more like the music industry. And it also went with the music industry too, because the music industry sort of had this sort of situation beforehand. Whereas in the 70s and the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, the time everyone talks about, there was a lot of bands coming in with a lot of wild and crazy ideas, and nobody knew really what the fuck was going on. So everyone was just kind of like, okay, fine. Like there was more freedom, or people like to think. That, you know, more experimental ideas got tried, lots of them failed, but more of them got tried, and more of them got successful. They got noticed because they were successful, because they were good ideas. Whereas, today, people are just so locked up with what they believe is, you know, good and will always be good, that experimentation like that isn't necessarily possible. And when experimentation fails, like it usually will, because you don't know, it's just confirmation bias to not actually experiment. Rather than it being like, oh, you tried it and it didn't work. Oh well. Once again, dice rolls. People don't like taking dice rolls. And it's actually kind of funny like that. A little bit different, and I'm not exactly as well informed on either parties in terms of, like, how each industry solved their own problems, but I have, you know, like, there's a bit of a passing sort of synchronicity with that. But like I was saying, it's just that the developer, the publishers, the people who had all the money, didn't really care all that much. Or rather, didn't care as much as they did, or rather, didn't have the insight or the instinct to think that they could control the things the way that they can today. So, a lot of times, so what you did is, you had people like Tim Schafer, who can make all these off-the-wall ideas that no one had any fucking idea if they would be successful or not, and get away with it. Because no one knew enough to stop them. Video games just make money, so just make video games. No one cared as much. Or rather, no one knew enough to really care. Things went boom and bust basically practically overnight. The Wild West of video games are over, in a lot of senses. Ow. Though good games can still be made, it's just that most of the time, the games with the most money are not the best games. They're acceptable in a lot of cases. That's what money buys you, acceptable, but it doesn't buy you innate quality, because honestly, a lot of AAA games still really fuck up on quality, too. So it's actually really strange like that. But anyway, it's probably down to the false sense of security that the publishers think they have, because they think they understand how we play video games, and in a lot of cases, they don't fucking know. They know a lot of other stuff. They know a lot of, like, you know, data-driven stuff, a lot of, metric-driven stuff, a lot of shit that the average gamer doesn't really perceive or think, a lot of unconscious things. However, they focus on that as if that is the only thing, and they think, oh, if we do all of this, then it'll work. Then it'll be the most successful game ever. And time again, they get slapped in the face with it, and, like, they get sales in a lot of cases, but time and time again, the other less effective AAA publishers, like, say, Ubisoft still sells, you know, hundreds of thousands of copies for their games. However, they fail to realize why their games aren't as successful or aren't like real headliners like Call of Duty or Battlefield 1, for example, or like just Battlefield in general. They don't understand it. They're just following metrics and they think, oh, well, if we do this enough, we'll be successful. They don't know how to capture lightning in a bottle because they don't know what fucking lightning really looks like. Or rather, they know what it looks like, but they don't know how it actually behaves. So, in large part, they just kind of fuck around while thinking they know everything. And we get proven over and over again that they honestly don't know what they're doing. Because if they did know, they'd make World in Conflict 2, and it would be good. However, unfortunately, World in Conflict is also one of those games where it didn't sell a trillion billion copies, and also the real-time strategy genre right now is in flux because no one really wants to go near it because it doesn't make hilarious amounts of money, and no one really knows where it go, like what to do with it to make it get more money. Everyone thinks real-time strategy games and thinks MOBA games. MOBA games are not real-time strategy games, but to the untrained eye, people look at the way these games are played, they're like, oh, it's the same thing, so we should just make it more like this. And you get situations like Dawn of War 3. And Dawn of War 3 is fucking dead. Why? Because it's a bad game. So you have people running experimentation, but they're not listening to the people who actually... They're not listening to enough people who actually really know what the fuck they're talking about. Or rather, they don't seem like they listen, and they don't actually play their games with the same level of enthusiasm most players will play their games with. Because they don't play video games like that. Corporate suits don't play video games like 4chan artists. And 4chan artists don't run Fortune 500 companies, but you know what? If there were more 4chan artists in control of certain video games, you'd probably have somewhat better and sensible mechanics. Not necessarily that everyone on 4chan is a genius. Once again, I love you guys, but accept your failings in some regard. I'm a fuck up too. I wouldn't be the best person ever if I made video games. I'd still try though. You bet your ass I would, if I had infinite money, I'd go off and make World in Conflict 2, because that needs to happen. And I'd also think about contracting Obsidian to make this kind of game, but not shit. So, once again, I have the honest intentions, though I don't have any of the knowledge or know-how, but I know what I do if I had the money. And in addition to that, I don't have the money either, so I'm just kind of talking out of my ass, really, at the end of the day. But you know what? I like to think that, sometimes you do need somebody with honest intentions, and as we come in here for a very gentle water landing, after my engines have crapped out. Oh, what a shame. But once again, I rambled off into a corner for, like 20 minutes. But like I was saying, Obsidian probably isn't going to be able to make their own game the way that they want to, even if they want to continue doing things like Armored Warfare. Because, you know what? It wasn't the best time, but it was a better time than what we had with World of Tanks. It showed promise. There was hope there. I believed in it. And PvE was actually very fun. And that was something that's something that World of Tanks doesn't have. War Thunder kind of has it, but it's not necessarily the same way. So, the experiment of bringing PvE into this, into the gameplay mechanic for the World of Tanks style of game was actually very successful, and that's one of the successes of Armored Warfare. You can't say that Armored Warfare was a complete waste of time at the end of the day, because things were tried, and things were very good. Some things were very good. Other things were kind of bad. And the way that they were actually going to sort out artillery was actually very interesting. I kind of liked them being, massive siege cannons that just fired, directly at targets. But that never made it through the initial balance passing, because they decided not to do that. Or rather, the skeleton crew decided not to do that. So, now artillery is only in PvE, so it is effectively completely useless. Good going. I trusted Obsidian while they're experimenting, rather than... I would trust Obsidian as they are experimenting. Rather, as they're experimenting, with no clear sense of success, rather than trusting the developers, the Russian-based developers, who I know will not actually accomplish anything, even if they maintain the game the way it is. So, faith is a thing, guys. Or at least, for me, it is. But whatever. We're almost done with the grind here. Let's move on. Okay, so where are we on the big board? 1,000! Actually, we're probably going to be done by the time that other game comes in. I don't know how long it's going to last, but let's just run a really quick one. And then I'll buy the privateer. We'll play one game in it, and then I'll call it a night. It's 2 in the clock. It's 2 in the morning. 2 o'clock. 2 in the clock in the morning. You see, my own dialogue assignment is kind of fucked. It's like my brain sometimes runs like Operation Flashpoint, but not as effective, honestly. If I talked more like that, I'd most likely actually sound pretty competent. However, this has almost no presentation value within it. So I have to keep talking like a normal person, or you just kind of think I'm a retard. You won't. I'll be actually kind of grating to listen to. So
Attention to the map.
that's another thing as well.
I'm sorry.
I know that I see that a lot. I know. I know that I do that a lot with lots of other things, but sometimes it's more unintentional. Like I said beforehand, or rather, like I said some time ago in, I believe it was the Panzer 2J videos. Sometimes I want to focus farther than I can see. I want to go faster than I can, and that kind of comes through even when I'm trying to speak. Whereas I'm speaking and I want to say things, however, I speak too fast and my brain can't catch up with it. So I just I mush my words, I stutter, I say complete fucking nonsense, I go around in fucking circles. But I'm trying to get to something. And hopefully, eventually, I'll get to something resembling it. I'll be a more presentable showman. Because honestly, already doing the Let's Play channel itself is improving my public speaking capacity. I mean, beforehand, before all of this, I really didn't actually even think that my voice was actually anything, like, special. Or, you know, like, I didn't think people would like my voice. I didn't feel comfortable using my voice. I very, very slowly started to use my voice, but it was very, very, very sparingly. But eventually, as I got into this, and people sort of like nodding along and going with it like it's nothing, like it's nothing, I'm not freaking people out or making people angry with the sound of my voice. But, you know, so that makes it a little bit more comfortable. And also another comfortable thing is people like my laugh. People like my laugh a lot. And honestly, I've heard that a lot from a lot of other people. I don't know why, I just have a funny laugh. Or rather, well, an infectious laugh. It's not that I, like, abuse and warp it. It just comes out naturally. That's just there. But, you know, it's a quality that I have. And I never really would have, honestly, fully, it's one of those things that you can't really fully understand and grasp and use. Or rather, you know, actually, you know, feel good about, unless other people fucking tell you. So, well, sometimes I need to expose myself in not exactly the best form in order to actually, well, learn. And then continue onwards to being a better player in the games that I play, and also a better person. But, you know, me exposing myself and fucking up in full view of everyone is not exactly the most comfortable thing for me to do. It's not comfortable for really anyone, but it's particularly for me, because honestly, I had a really big thing about being ridiculed. So that's kind of a soft spot. But I'm trying to get a little bit better at it, and trying to get better at laughing things off. However, what I will not laugh off is not killing this fucker. We're doing a dance here. Ah, damn it. Ventral Gunner, it would be so nice if you could actually... God damn it! He's too fucking close! My depth perception doesn't work! Ah! I can't see a line where my bullets are going to go, but also, hey, look, the fire went out. Yay! I don't get to feel bad about myself. I killed him, but now I'm gonna dive in and just kind of strafe the carriers, because there's nothing else for me to really do. Maybe I can zap the zeros. Rather, piss them off. I still got engine power, I've still got speed, I've still got life! Those are pretty sparkles coming out of the carrier. Your right wing! You've got a hole in your right wing! My right wing is gone. Rank does not matter. You know, sometimes it doesn't. H8K? What? Where did you come from? Oh well. I got 2 kills, that was pretty good. That's more than enough to actually put us in the plane. So, let's go back. We'll probably actually get, if that game is over, I'm probably just gonna get it now. Okay. Did I get the plane? No, I did not get the plane. I still have to wait for one of these matches to come in. I don't know how long it's going to be. But, yeah, well, fine, fuck it, whatever. Just to fill the time here, I'll play one more unnecessary game. Though, I've finished the grind. Let's see here. Well, since, well, the A20 is treating us with very quick games that get shit done, let's just continue playing the A20. The A20 is the hero of this Grindfest. Why? Because it's a fun plane that gets shit done, and also have a talisman on it. So it actually effectively grinds things. You know, I kind of wanted it. I kind of want to find a less common plane to play for this Grindfest to champion, but well, the A20 just got shit done. So there's that. But well, let's go straight ground targets. Well, hey Apache. The Apache is another plane that's kind of like sort of irrelevant. What is it? It's a Mustang. But would, well, spec for ground attack. It has air brakes. It has 50 calibers in its nose. It's a very strange plane, but it's not necessarily the most effective thing in the world. Because, yet again, it is a ground attack plane with no defensive armament. And it's not exactly the most maneuverable plane in the world. It's not the fastest either. So, while it may be a competent plane, it's not necessarily something you feel very secure in. But this guy's got bombs on it, and he's coming into ground attack with me. He gets my vote. You and your purple acrobatic smoke. But we're gonna go over here, because that is, yes, the field that I always go into, because it just I get things done over there. Alright, and there's always this line of pillboxes here, which isn't technically on the map, but it is standing here so you can get more points. I always forget about this, but it is something you should probably hit before you actually go over there, because you're less likely to run into the Germans while you're over here. It's not actually set on the map either, so it's kind of funny. And they're actually kind of vital, if you really observe the map situation. Because the armies over here have to go through these points. So, why aren't they critical? Why aren't they critical things? Why aren't they important? Why am I not actually tasked to take these out? God damn it. Once again, the light pillboxes continue to be nonsensically, sporadically robust for no apparent reason. I could go kill this Baviero, but I want to kill ground targets. Whoa, whoa, okay, a little close to the ground. And also, well, he's got that guy to worry about. See, he doesn't need me making his day worse. I know, I understand. You just want to bomb things. I get it. And see, he's already dead. He didn't do anything. I understand! It's just that I can't really stop my teammates from wanting to kill you. I'm sorry, warrior. This is what happens when we're at odds. Though, I won't be trying to kill you specifically, unless I have to. That's the best that I can do as I play ground attack planes, and encounter other ground attack planes. Our lives are bad enough, we don't need to ruin each other's lives. Excuse me as I now fire through buildings in order to take out these AA emplacements. Yay, logic! And that is this entire zone now burning. 8 ground targets. Basically no ammunition left. Why? Because the light pillboxes just kind of ate everything. And it seems like someone's come over here, strafed all the light targets, and not actually killed anything. Wait, no, they're still here. Just got some of them. Okay. Where's this A-20 going? You gonna shoot at that guy. Okay, we're gonna pass there, and then we're gonna shoot at the door. Hey, I got the door! You see, they thought, oh, yo, let's put all the defenses on the front of the bunker. And then we'll just have this kind of, like, wicker sheet to keep the back closed, to keep the draft out. And then, suddenly, the American Air Force found a hole. I need to hit those directly. Which is also funny, because in order to hit those directly, I need to sacrifice one of those rockets. Well, people are dying all around me. So that's a Dorner. That is a wait, 217. That is the bomber. Yes, it is the bomber. You know what we're gonna do? Actually, wait, no. Yes, no, wait, no, it's the Night Fighter variant. However, he's gonna be dead by the time we actually get over there. Because he's being jumped by the entire RAF. Well, I'm gonna do something cheeky here. Hey, wait, come back! Tropical Spitfire, look out! Okay, so we're gonna try and gain some speed here. I know I'm overheating my engines, but fuck it. We're gonna try and gain some speed here. Oh. My tail gunner seems to have spooked whatever the hell's behind me, and he's actually killing them. Holy fucking shit, he's actually hurting him. Diner! Oh! Ah, well, he's dead. Rip, what a shame. I tried to be a rocket man, but I couldn't do it. Ah! Rocket man! Burning up here alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. Or rather, a very short time before I actually hit the ground. Oh well, I gave the Dorner a kill. There you go. There you go. You're playing German bombers. Good on you. You're different. That's about the best that I can do at the end of the day here on the eternal battlefield. I can just sort of encourage people to play things that aren't the most meta things in the world. Did we get the plane? Yes, we got the fucking plane! Our grind is at an end. well, at least the initial grind. So now we have to grind the rest of the stuff. But let's see here. I'm going to bring all this down here and then just tap into that. How much money do we have left for the B-29? Yeah, just 5,000. Oh, okay, whatever. But we at last have our privateer. Very, very good. We now have our Coast Guard edition. Well, Navy edition, but Coast Guard used them too. Liberator. Which comes equipped with 2,100,000 pound bomb. Completely worthless. Yep, this is where we're gonna have to go. So, what do we get for 8? 8 fucking... That's... You could carry more fucking bombs than... You could carry more 500-pound bombs than that. Fucker. So you can carry 8... Oh, you could carry 8 1,000s. Why would you take the 5... You see, this is stupid. This is the bomb... The bomb loads here just don't make any fucking sense. But we can carry 4 2,000-pound bombs, which, for the eagle-eyed and informed, means we can take out 2 bases. At max, which is pretty good, even though it doesn't really pay all that much. But whatever. First thing I'm going to do is going to get bigger bombs because 2,100-pound bomb... Actually, that's the thing. 8 50-pound, 500-pound bombs aren't that amazing. 2,100-pound bombs, I just have to sit here and just jam the spacebar over and over again, but they might actually do something. But let's get that first. So, let's go play our first game. If we could actually get a match. And my foot fell asleep. This is what I get for sitting cross-legged, or rather, one arm or one leg up. The blood flow. Ah, it's returning very slowly. Ah. Move my mic, adjust my seat, and then now we're ready to play the privateer. Which will hopefully not be bad. But, well, bombers are all kind of the same in some regards, unless you're playing the Tu-4, which means, well, you get to laugh as jets try and strafe you, and they just, you know, you watch them as they pussyfoot around trying not to get hit by your cannons. And also, it just seems like, you know, rocketing players was a little bit easier. Or rather, it used to be a little bit easier, but it seems like now it's a little bit harder to do. It was kind of annoying when you ran into situations at, like, lower tiers, for example. You fly something like a Catalina. The Catalina was my first jam plane. However, the main problem with flying the Catalina is that you get ice shacks and assholes like that with rockets, and you just instantly die. The Sunderland has kind of the same problem, but, well... I think they somewhat nerfed rockets, so they don't do that. But then again, being hit by an explosive warhead blows a hole in the plane, so, well, it's not necessarily illogical, but it's just a little bit way too easy. Because, well, having a larger plane should mean that the plane is a lot more durable and can hold up under fire. But that doesn't really necessarily seem to be the case in a lot of senses. Sometimes it does, but sometimes you just instantly fucking die. It just makes you a bigger target and easier to hit. And also, we've got a 2-door bomb bay. How the fuck can we not carry more than 8 500-pound bombs? What are you doing back there? We could fucking carry Grand Slams in here if we fucking wanted to. Not Grand Slam. Grand Slam is a 22,000-pound bomb. Tall Boy's the 12,000-pound bomb? Was it Blockbuster? That's the term I'm looking for. That's the 400-pound bomb. Or 4,000-pound bomb. It plane's big enough to carry 2 of them. Actually, we are carrying 2 of them because we can carry 4 2,000-pound bombs. But okay, it's Sicily. Well, here I go. Yeah, minimum load, 1 hour and 17 minutes. I'm never going to run out of fuel. You will never... You physically will not run out of fuel. The matches only last 60 minutes. Okay. So let us observe the situation. Very obviously, we do not have any defense underneath the... Well, actually, the tail gun comes down pretty high, or comes down pretty far, so that's not necessarily too bad. That's actually a lot better than I was expecting. But we have... Well... That is 6 guns on either side. Since we have 2 in the 2 dorsal turrets and 2 in the blister turrets. And then, well, let's see here. Ah! The tail. The tail is in the way. So that we cannot fire all of our guns directly behind us. That is a weakness. Oh, also we have a placeholder cockpit. This is very roomy. You guys like the Beach Boys? I know it's a bit out of the time period, but honestly, that's the sound that comes to my ears when I think of, well, Navy things. Well, let's see here. We should probably descend. But, well, I think our situation's gonna be shit no matter where we go. So... let's see here. Let's turn the engines down to 0 and slowly begin descending. Actually, I think we're gonna go down in a slowly descending spiral, just so we don't put ourselves out in front of literally everything, since why would we want to outrun our fighter escort? I don't know. We're a low-level patrol bomber. We don't have turbochargers. We shouldn't be up this high. Very slowly banking the plane. It's probably pissing off the entire gunner crew as I am causing the plane to lurch this far. But it's to keep everyone alive, so shut up back there. I'm still probably going to be going towards the bases, but this keeps me a little bit farther, it keeps me a little bit more alive, and makes it so I don't run heads first directly into the entire enemy formation. Now the guy in the guy in the right blister turret is basically just like standing up sideways. He's hanging on to his position. But then I think these have chairs. Rather, they're entirely enclosed bubbles. That's kind of like one of the selling features of this, or rather, one of the unique features, the blister turrets. And they also traverse all the way down too. They pivot, as you can see. They're attached on points on either side, so they can go, well, basically all the way down, like to about there. And he can still shoot, but I can't exactly see him shoot because the camera. Let's actually turn the engines back on, please. Good vibrations. Bop, bop. Good vibrations. It doesn't seem like the Germans have showed up today. Oh, well, there's one. But as you can see, being underneath this plane is kind of an advantageous position. However, the defensive guns are actually pretty okay for all of the normal areas of attack. Pick up a little bit of speed. We don't want to be sitting completely dead in the water. Air. Water, because Navy bomb. You get it. You got it. That P-47M is having the run of the place. Good on him. He's actually being a ground attack pilot. It is a premium vehicle as well, since he is making mad stacks of cash. Good on him. Now you see, now we're gonna have the awkward situation whereas I am closing in low over the space and I have to jam the space bar repeatedly in order to actually, you know, drop my bombs on the base. So this is gonna be a bit funny. It's a bit easier with the larger bombs since you can just drop them and leave, but with the smaller bomb loads, they're actually incredibly difficult, and most of the time the smaller bomb loads are basically worthless. Since a single larger bomb will do more damage than 2 of a smaller size of equal weight. Which is kind of dumb. But, open the bomb bay. Look at those big, massive racks of bombs. And go into bombardier view and line ourselves up on the target. Level up. No, too far. Oh. Well, okay, Lancaster, you do that. Oh, did the Lancaster take out all of the bases? Well, shit, I guess we're going in then. We're flying a little low, though, but we're gonna have to bomb the runway. Let's see what we can manage here. Wait, how many bombers do we... Yeah, it was just the Lancaster. Huh. The Lancaster actually managed to battle through that entire shit, and he's still going. He has escorts. That son of a bitch. Oh well, if we had stayed up there, we wouldn't be able to actually bomb anything anyway. He would have gotten them all anyway. But good on you, Lancaster. Hopefully he's got bombs left for the base. Which he should, if memory serves me correctly. Because he can carry, if I recall, 14,000-pound bombs. Which is... British bomber design. Defensive guns. We don't need them because we're flying at night! Save all the weight for the bombs! That's what I like about British design in general. The British are very, you know, calm, refined, stately people. But if you look at their engineering projects and what they create, you realize they're all fucking insane. Don't believe me? Blockbuster, tall boy, grand slam. Also, in addition to that, Werven. Okay, so, I think the Lancaster's turning around. Actually, no, he dropped his bombs. He did, in fact, have bombs for the base. Unfortunately, we have to fly through all of the fucking flak in order to do this. This is not exactly the best situation to be in. So we're gonna line ourselves up with the runway, and then you're gonna hear me try and keep the plane level and smash the spacebar over and over again. Okay. Gotta line up with the... Ow. There's the fucking AA. Ow. Yeah, ow. Okay, bomb's gone. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. I'm dead. Oh well, I made it to the base and I got things done. Oh well. So how much did I damage the base, guys? Almost nothing. Thank you, 100,000. Thank you, 100-pound bombs. Fucking useless. This is gonna be our problem with this grind, I can see. Oh well. That's about it for us, folks. So we're gonna have to suffer with these incredible, pitiful bomb loads before we actually get something good. Oh well. Well, we didn't actually see the combat of the plane, but it's obviously when I flew over the base, you saw it was like taking constant DPS from the gunners. I mean, from the AA guns. It was almost like I didn't actually need to get hit. It was just constantly a pain field. And you saw how it tracked everything. It started to kill all of the people in the plane. Faster than it actually killed the plane. This is why flak is bullshit. But, well, we have the plane. That was our first game. And tomorrow, we're gonna come back and we're gonna attempt to grind all of the modifications. We're gonna spade the motherfucker. Why not? Why? Because why the fuck not? We worked this hard for it anyway. So, we still got a long grind ahead of us just playing this, well, this one plane. But, I hope you've been enjoying me ramble on about random shit while playing ground attack planes. I have been your wonderful host, Fontaman, and I will see you next time.